Namaste. We are with Gautam ji once again. And Gautam, today we'll continue the series Traits of the Ego. And I wanted to discuss with you a very interesting one, which I feel is even more particular in the Baba community. It is that of feeling special due to, having experiences. And, sometimes even going to the extent where people blow their own trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember in one of the talks with you, you had mentioned that sometimes those who don't have experiences are even more blessed. So I felt it would be nice if we could discuss this aspect of, the very subtle sense of feeling special. And, even from the aspect of sharing experiences, is it done to inspire somebody else? And is it Baba's Leela, or people feel they are the cause of the Leela? Because I feel that's another very big difference where it is Baba's Leela, it could be with anybody. But sometimes when it is received and, shared, some people may almost feel that they have caused it, or that specialness sort of creeps in. So I felt
Yes.
this would be an interesting discussion.
It is a tricky thing, to be honest, because as you rightly said, I think the point is if someone has an experience, what is the motive behind sharing that experience? If it is to enhance the listener's life, what is the essence of this experience I had? What was Baba trying to tell me? And if he was trying to tell me, what is he trying to tell others? What can I share with others? So where am I coming from when I'm sharing an experience? Now this only that person will know. Only that person will know, and actually if they are unaware, they may not even know it, whether they're just, let's say, boasting about the experience that Baba came to me and this happened, full stop. Or is the motive compassion, that I am the one blessed with this experience. I don't know why Baba chose me, and now I must share it so that others can benefit as I have from this experience. So, what is the motive behind it? Only that person who has had the experience will know. Now, what tends to happen, Nick, is we ordinary people who don't have experiences, we look up to those who have them. It's natural, and then you feel, oh, I wish I had such experiences. Why don't I? The ego feels a lack and then feels I am less worthy and therefore I don't have the experience. Now, this is not true. You see, this is something we have to really understand, because it could be a blessing not to have experiences, because many of us get lost when we have experiences, because the ego operates like that. It becomes special and then it wants more and more of these experiences, and then the whole, you see, it's got derailed. That individual's journey who has had the experience is sometimes derailed because now it's after experiences. Whereas the import of the experience, the purpose of the experience is lost. So I would say the opposite. Be diligent in your sadhana. Live the teachings every day. By all means, look up to those who have had experiences, but don't get so enamored by it. See what you can learn from the experience, what value it can add to your life, and live it that way. I am reminded of something I saw on TV. It was an episode of Tulsidas. And his Ramayana became a very big thing when he wrote it in his time. The word spread like fire that this is such a beautiful rendition which Tulsidas has written. Now, in those days, you didn't have photocopies. You could not photocopy the Ramayana or print thousands of copies. It was all handwritten. It was his only copy. And he used to read from it. He would go place to place reading from it, and then people started memorizing it. It was so beautiful. But at that time, there was one copy. Now, it so happened that his competitor, someone else who was very famous in this whole field of prachar and this and that, was jealous. So he wanted to steal this copy. So he hired the local thief, the man who was known for thievery. You go in the night and steal this copy. And he said, done. Gold coins were exchanged and all that stuff. Now, this man went to steal this copy. Tulsidas was sleeping. Tulsidas's two students were sleeping in the veranda. Everyone was fast asleep. Fantastic opportunity to steal it. Then he saw a shadow of a guard. And he said, where could Tulsidas have got a guard to guard this copy? And he looked closer at the shadow. He saw two shadows. And then he saw the shadow in detail. A quiver of arrows. And he saw the shadow of a monkey's tail. And he realized that these are no guards. This is Lord Ram himself who's guarding the copy, Hanuman, and so on and so forth. He went into a shock when he realized who was actually guarding this copy. He could not move from that spot. And in the morning, when Tulsidas woke up, he saw this man quivering. So the thief said, I have done pap. He told Tulsidas. Tulsidas was shocked. What is this man saying? What pap, And he said, I came to steal this copy. And I had darshan of Lord Ram. I saw them protecting your copy. Now Tulsidas said, bloody hell, Lord Ram doesn't give me darshan. But now Tulsidas knew, you see. He always wondered. He was such a bhakt. Such beautiful poetry came out. But he never had that experience. But when he heard this story, he said, I know Ram is there. So perhaps it was to make Tulsidas humble that Lord Ram didn't physically come and stand in front of him at that point. Maybe later he did. But that is the essence of the story, you see. That just because you don't have the experience does not mean that the Lord is not there. It does not mean Baba is not there in your life. We always want an effect. We want to see something. You see, and then we miss this. But if we are living under the grace of God, under the grace of Baba, if we are trying our best, we all may fail, but at least our effort is there to live by the Satcharit, to lead by example. That's all we can do, Nick. We are mortals, we are human beings. But that is enough. So, that is what these stories are about, you see. That experiences may or may not happen. Please do not make that a goal, because then you are missing out on the journey.
What a beautiful story you narrated. I actually forgot what was the starting of this talk. Maybe it doesn't matter. And Gautam, just on an ending note, it's always easier to see these traits in somebody else first than in yourself. So sometimes even when you observe it without criticism in another, it's easier than like seeing these things arise within oneself. But at least that can also be a starting point in awareness, because then that thing can shift back towards oneself.
Yes, because you see, whatever we observe in another, let's take something simple. Let's say I find this person is a miser who doesn't spend money easily, right? Now, that word miser and its meaning is in my consciousness. I have imposed it on the other that this person is a miser, but I need to know what being miserly is, right? So it's an invitation that whenever we observe something in another, to look at ourselves. Do I have this quality of miserliness? What do I know about miserliness? And then do I understand that a person is a miser not by choice? Who knows what experience they had in life when money was difficult? All this exploration is part of the sadhana, you see.